Welcome, everybody. This is how to create yourself a learning tutor, which is basically like a bot that you train to talk with you only about the specific content that you have built it to teach you about. So, what you will need to do is you will need to open your Google Workspace, and at the moment, that will be on your personal Google account because School Gemini is not fully functional until we have policy and procedures. Gemini. When you go into Gemini, what you'll see is it works like a large language model, like ChatGPT, like Copilot. So we can use it like that at all points by entering prompts into the box you can see at the bottom here. What I'm talking about is if we go to the left-hand menu, what you're seeing is some things I've created here. So don't focus on that. What we want to focus on is the button Explore Gems. When you click Explore Gems, Gemini has produced a few pre-made partners to your learning called gems. And if we expand that menu, you'll see that at the moment there's not very many of them. They are in beta form. There are similar capabilities on other AI sites, but Learning Coach is pretty good. Writing Editor, pretty good. I've actually enjoyed Career Guide as well. So there are pre-made GPTs that will work with you on certain topics. What you can see here is I have created a gem called Chemistry Tutor. So if you click on New Gem, you're going to see the screen appear that has editable pieces. You're going to be able to name your gem. So I called that Chemistry Tutor. You're going to be able to put in a detailed prompt about the role you want your gem to play, the things that your gem knows, the limits that it has to work within, etc. And then you are going to need to upload knowledge that your gem will work with. So that involves hitting the plus key and uploading documents that you want to contain all the wisdom that your gem will use in its outputs. Remembering that all of these GPTs are trained by humans and the input determines the output. So what you are doing is you are creating a situation here where you are not going to get biased content. You are not going to have ethical considerations with what is generated because your gem is not searching widely across the internet to teach you about things. It is only looking through the documents that you upload. Now, at the moment, there's a limit of 10 documents that you can upload, which when these gems come out of the beta stage, there should be up to 50 as per Notebook, LM, and other useful tools. If I go to a gem that I created, so the Chemistry Tutor one, what you'll see is that when it is created and you've saved it, it's going to appear permanently in that menu. And it looks like any other GPT, except you can now talk to it about only the content you have trained it on. So if we go to look at editing my gem, the prompt that I have entered into it is quite detailed, and I have dropped that onto the classroom stream for you to copy and paste because I would not expect at this point that you would be generating that yourself. So it's a high school chemistry tutor. It knows NCEA level 1, 2, and 3 in terms of its background. It knows the age of the students it's teaching. It knows the dominant first language. It knows the type of output I'm expecting in terms of the tone. This is just good prompt design. And I have limited its output to the external standards in level 2 and level 3. Now, in the knowledge area, what I've done is uploaded the workbooks for level 2 and level 3. For you, you would only need to enter the workbooks relevant to the level that you're studying, which then gives you the ability to upload a little bit more, given that 10 is the limit. I have also uploaded some past exams, just the publicly available NCEA exams, and you can upload any Google Doc, Google Slides, PDF format, etc. It will not deal with Microsoft files, so that is something to be aware of. When you have uploaded your 10 documents or however many you're going to give it to begin with, you can then test your tutor by prompting it to help you with a certain topic. And what I am loving about this is that it works for the syllabus you are studying, and it does not take you outside of that or give you inadequate answers for what would be expected in order to do really well within the NCEA system itself. Now, if I do make changes, then I do need to update my gem just using that button there. So if you find that the prompt is not serving you perfectly, then you can make adjustments after the fact. It's not a done deal right from the start. Now, I tested this extensively using the topic of intermolecular bonding, and this will be more relevant at this point to our year 13s in that the way we deal with intermolecular bonding is quite detailed at that point. But I started off very general. I want to know about the types of intermolecular bonding. Okay, I was pretending to be a student who just needed help with a particular subtopic. And now I have set it up to be a Socratic tutor. So, like Socrates asked philosophical questions that challenged people to think a little bit more deeply about their mindsets or their worldviews, it will do that to you with your chemistry. So it's not just going to give you answers to things, because we can get that from websites, right? We shouldn't be using a GPT as a way of collecting knowledge. We should be using a GPT to improve upon our knowledge by testing us or quizzing us or making us contemplate things in new ways. So it's going to ask you questions that you can then answer. Now, I made some of my answers pretty skinny on the details, shall we say, and so therefore it will say to you, if you do that, you've got a good start. You're on the right track. Can you expand on that a little? And then it will give you a question that helps you further that. For those of you that find linking ideas into concept explanations a little bit tricky, this is beautiful because it really does allow you to take things a bit further until the gem tells you that you've come out with the goods to the extent that it would hope for. All right, so at the end, it's sort of saying, perfect, I'm very happy with your understanding about this. Now let's go here. It does reference external websites when it makes certain comments. So it does have access to all of Gemini's regular series of internet resources. But remember that it's constantly referencing or referring back to what you have uploaded as to the kind of terms it should be using, because there's multiple different words for things, and you can see it referring to temporary dipole-dipole forces, or sometimes called this, and that's obviously being gathered from an external site at that point. I highly suggest that you try training a gem. It only took me less than half an hour. And because I've made the prompt for you and I can provide you with a Google Drive link for the files that you can upload, I think this is a really useful way of using AI in a smart form that actually does enhance your learning rather than making you lazier or making you look for shortcuts where that's not going to be particularly useful.